Good afternoon, Juan and Brandon back again with some Produce 101.
And today we're going to be talking about potatoes. Now, we definitely wanted to time this video at the right time to make sure that we understand what we're seeing right now in the potato market. All of these potatoes that we are having right now actually were harvested last August and September. So these things are old, and we're going to talk about what we're starting to see and what we're going to continue to see until the new crop later this fall. So on our number one potatoes right now, we're still seeing very nice quality. Uniform size in the number one potato. Now, this is a 90 count right here. Juan has got the 60 count. So we're just trying to show that right now we're still seeing good quality, nice fair skin color, not too dirty, and not very many defects. But what we are going to start to see is a little bit of defects starting to creep in. So like on this one right here, we have one little area. This is called the shoulder bruise. This is a bruising that has been while sitting in the pile of potatoes in the storage shed. Some of these potatoes are starting to kind of get a little bit of bruised damage, and so you're going to start to see a little bit of that. Also, we're starting to see a little bit of flaking skin, and this is actually not a scorable defect. This just happens to happen this time of the year, but most of that will actually cook off when you use it. So definitely these potatoes, for being number one and being this late in the season, we're still very, very happy with it. This is a Sysco branded item, so it is being washed, protected by our corporate QA as well as our corporate supplier quality assurance guys, making sure that everything is being met to spec to that Sysco brand. And then Juan, who's the expert at number two, is going to talk about what we're seeing in the number two potatoes right now.
In the middle part, we got the number two potato. And what makes a number two potato? It's inconsistent sizing. The number two potato will have some more defects. Just look at the sizing here to make it a point. Defects, mechanical damage. We'll see some shoulder bruising as well in these. So these potatoes are great for back of the house, slicing, dicing, mashed potatoes, French fries. These are not recommended for any baked potatoes. So this is all for back of the house, inexpensive compared to the number one.
Something to point out that's very important is that in the early part of the fall season, the growers are actually packing a lot more number one potatoes. So because the number ones are more plentiful in the early harvest. So what we do see in the number two potatoes for the first half of the year is that there are a substantial large amount of number one graded potatoes actually being packed into the number two, because our suppliers still have to fulfill our contracts on number two potatoes. So we are actually getting away with putting a lot of number one potatoes in this number two box. So for those customers that have become accustomed to that higher spec actually in this lower spec box for less money, this is the time of the year that it's important to point out and make sure that they understand the differences, because this is the time where the potato actually does reach the true number two grade, and we want to make sure that the customers are aware that what they're getting is not something bad, but it's just something that's actually more true to spec, with the misshapen, missizing, and a lot of the little bruising and mechanical damage that you're starting to see, because these are basically the last of the crop. We're emptying out the storage sheds, getting ready for the next harvest in August.
And that concludes our video. And again, for more support, please reach out to Brandon or myself. That's it.
Thanks for selling produce.